Hey, we're here tonight at the Atlanta Airport Chamber of Commerce at the Hilton, just right beside the airport, and we're part of the chamber event that's focusing on diversity, equity, and inclusion. I'm super excited to be part of the speaking panel and giving a big shout out to women-owned small businesses. So stay tuned. It's going to be a great night. Some really good speakers. I'm happy to be here.
Please help me welcome Janet Shahaki. Thank you so much. All right, well, thank you. I certainly appreciate everybody else who has spoken for a few minutes. A dear lady said, so where do you live? Alpharetta? Roswell? I said, I live in Virginia. She said, oh, Lord. I say that sometimes too, but earlier this year at Janssen, we put an office down here in Atlanta. And why did we choose Atlanta? Well, you've got a great airport. And I wasn't paid to say that, I really mean it. You've got a great airport. When we think about the clients that we serve and the location that we needed to be, Atlanta just made sense. When we came to Atlanta, we didn't have a client in Atlanta, but we knew that God was calling us to Atlanta to start our next office. And so we have work in Huntsville and other places, but Atlanta just made sense. So I want to thank you. We've been welcomed. Over here, Mr. Stephen Klausing is the head of our Atlanta operation. We wanted to be close to Georgia Tech. We wanted to be close to SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, and others. Because out of our Atlanta office, our amazing team that we're building down here is focused on our facilities modernization and our workplace transformation. Fancy term for saying, let's reimagine your space and let's tell a story. So I'll give you something real quick. So I want to give a shout out real quick to women-owned small business. Are we here tonight? All right. So in the Army, we're going to say hua, all right? So, and I started my company back in 1998, but God set the conditions that in 2008, we would go into the military market, not because I had served in the military. So let me tell you something, that's not a market you just wake up one day and decide you're going to go into. And my dear friend here, back here, Deidre, she wants to break into the military market. And you know what? I will tell you something. I can respect subcontracting and I can respect prime contracting, but let me tell you something, it's not easy. I stand here tonight to tell you, I would love to tell you how many times a large business has cut us out after they won the RFP. So let's call things out as they are because that stuff does happen. So let me tell you, when you're looking for diversity and you're looking for inclusion, look for people whose values are right. Because when you align with people whose values are right, you're going to have each other's back. And Deidre, you're going to have my back and I'm going to have yours because I want to help you get in the military market. So let me tell you, it's been my sincere honor and privilege to own this company, but you're only as good as your team. And let me tell you, when you're looking for fit, because belonging is all about fit, right? And the reason I believe that Janssen has been such a great fit within the military market is because we believe their values. We have a passion for the mission. And that starts with me and it runs all the way down. Something else that starts with me and runs all the way down is that Janssen is a woman-owned and managed small business. I get really upset when I see a woman-owned small business and she's nowhere to be found. So it's important that we hold on. And if you're the female, run that company and run it well. So I also want to just share that I think it's important as I look over our success that we've had and these guys, and there are just a few of them here tonight, and the rest of them are scattered in different places. A lot of them are at the Pentagon and Fort Belvoir and other places, and we can't leave out the Marines, the great work that we do for the Marines. So let me tell you how I broke into this market. The gentleman who said tonight, sir, thank you, your emphasis on mentors. Find you a mentor. I agree with that. Listen to them. Let them drag you around and talk to them and let them introduce you to their battle buddies. And most importantly, follow through on the commitment that you made at the time of the sale. So I'll just close by sharing this. Our first big military account came at a small place out in the middle of nowhere, Utah called Tooele Army Depot. I'm like, I've skied in Salt Lake for years and never heard of this place. But you know, we went out there and we were going up against some big companies, but the commander loved our passion. You can figure out where that comes from. She loved what we brought to the fight. We won that contract. She then gets promoted to a position at a 4-star command. So when an opportunity came up, she called her friend. She said, I believe y'all can do this. And here's what they asked. Can you brand our building? We'd never done that before. Can we see? I thank God they didn't ask if they could see our past performance because we didn't have any. No, wouldn't have that. So they asked, now the Corps had just finished building the building. It's a 144,000 square foot building. And so I fly down to Huntsville and I go, can I see the building? And, oh yeah, we want to make sure you all can do this. And of course you have to act like you can do it. Oh yeah, we can do it. Absolutely we can do it. Not a problem. And I didn't know how much money. I have no idea. So you know what? By walking around, let me tell you where you find out where your money is, Deidre. You find out the guy in the back, not the front guy. The front guy don't know how much he's got. You go to the guy in the back, how much money they got for this project. He told me the number. So when they asked me later, how much is it going to cost? I said the number that the guy told me. And you know what? We made it work. Ladies and gentlemen, that work was under the command of the military's first female four-star general, Ann Dunwoody. And praise God of the Army for selecting to be the first to put a female in 4 stars. But I will tell you, having worked for her command and under the time she was there at AMC, that lady made it to the top, not because she was a female, it's because she was a great leader and she was a soldier. And that's what did it. And I think we need to remember, fall back on your skill and do your job and do it well. And General Dunwoody still to this day is a very good friend. But they asked me, can you brand the building? And I said, well, if you're looking for someone to throw some pictures on the wall, we're the wrong company. But if you're looking for a company to tell a story. Now here today, ladies and gentlemen, our work in facilities modernization and workplace transformation, it's growing rapidly. We're reimagining spaces for people. But the way we reimagine it is we find their story. And I think a lot of organizations today have forgotten your story. And that's the heartbeat. Anybody can throw some paint and carpet on the floor and paint on the walls, but find our story. And so when we did the building, I'll tell you this great story and I'm going to wrap it up. So, when you serve the military, especially at 4 stars, they have quite an entourage, right? So I'm told we got to brief her. We had the date and I get a phone call. Hey, she wants the date moved up by 2 weeks. I'm like, 2 weeks? And they're like, okay, we'll be ready. So we're working like 18 hours a day and I'm flying back and forth every week, not from Dulles to Atlanta, but from there to Huntsville International Airport. And so the night before the briefing, I have to brief her deputy chief of staff. And he's a little shorter than I am. So I had a privilege standing over him. And I'm practicing my presentation. And he said, no matter what, don't tell her we're not on schedule. I said, but we're not on schedule. You guys awarded this contract. No. In other words, don't tell her the truth. Well, and he says, no matter what, you keep your speech to 30 minutes. You keep this presentation to 30 minutes. I said, okay, I got it. So the next morning, so let me just say this real quick because I can't get away without saying it. That night, I stood in the lobby of that building. It's at 10 o'clock at night. And I prayed. I was going to brief the military's first female 4-star general, just a girl from Manassas, nowhere, Virginia. So if you can't tell me that God can't do things, he can. And I stood there and I just asked for God's favor over that meeting. That next morning, that big old entourage comes in and boy, she comes out and I said, it's go time. And I walk out there and I put my hand in hers. She and I hit it off. We're walking through. She loved it. She absolutely loved it. What's the one question you think she asked me? Are we on schedule? She's standing there like this. Janet, are we on schedule? And I looked at that guy, and these are my exact words. I said, ma'am, we'll be where we need to be on the day we need to be there. That's a true story. She reached into her pocket. And all the green suitors are, what is she going to do? And she reached out and she handed me, when she was really handing Stephan and our entire team, her 4-star coin of excellence. No contractor is supposed to get one of those. And she stopped her lawyer and she said, I know what I'm doing. And I'll tell you what, folks, do what you say you're going to do and do it with love and do it with passion. And if you come from where I come from, you put God first. And he'll take you to places you never thought possible. And he'll close doors that are meant to be closed. And he'll open doors that are meant to be open. So I want to close by saying this. I believe we need to drive demand for equity and fairness. One thing I love about Georgia is you got over 14,000 churches, unlike Vermont, who's got 600. So you guys are doing all right. So let's drive demand for equity. And let's drive development. And I love what the gentleman said about the work going on at the airport over the next few years. And let's drive dependency on our God. I want to quote one person. He's a native of your state here, Dr. Kenneth Boa. I don't know if any of you know him. He's an author and theologian. He says this, I quote, "The responsibilities and pressures of this world clamor for our attention and tend to squeeze our inner lives and starve our souls. But let there be a reminder that this life is but a brief pilgrimage designed to prepare us for eternity." Folks, the only thing with us is what we truly believe. And I believe for a time such as this, God has brought paths together. It is my honor for Jansen to have an office in Atlanta. I would love the opportunity to work together, but I will tell you this, the mission must come first. And we have a great mission right now. So regardless of the pandemics, regardless of economic crises, the mission must go on. Thank you.
Someone said, "Ooh, exactly. That was inspiring." I'm telling you, that's wonderful. You got everybody wanting to come work with you.
You know, I didn't hardly keep to my notes at all. All I did was just ask God to put on my heart what I was to say. And I don't know, I felt the spirit in the room. I felt the energy. And I think we made it real. I think that I felt led to make it real. So it was awesome. And there was like, a dozen people that wanted to talk to me. More importantly, hug. I'm like, all right, we're after COVID, let's hug each other. So it was great. I'm really glad I came.